Hi, friends. How are you today? So good to see you as always. You know what? I tell you every single time I'm living my best darn life, and Jay Reine is one of those big reasons. I am super excited to have him today. He's with Dignity Memorial, right?
Yes, ma'am.
We are off to a great start. So tell me what you said right before about your name.
Whenever I introduce myself, there have been a lot of mix-ups in the past. My grandfather literally went by Renee because of the spelling of my last name. So I am very particular. So I go by J like the letter, Rain like the weather.
How cool is that? It's super easy to remember. Well, I'm very happy that you're here today. Thank you so much for coming. And
Of course.
again, you are with Dignity Memorial. And so today we're going to talk about the importance of pre-planning, right? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me what is pre-planning? So tell me a little bit about it.
So what pre-planning really is how I've like learned to refer to it as is essentially end of life care, but this is one of the most important brackets, I would say. When it comes to pre-planning, it's arranging your final arrangements, your services, as well as your final resting place.
And so how important is that to do ahead of time? And I've known this from firsthand experience.
I and that's actually how I explain it to most of my families that I help. From experience, seeing both sides, I actually was a family service counselor initially, and now I'm actually a pre-planning advisor. The difference is essentially I represented a cemetery, so I would facilitate burials and help families that had experienced the loss. Now my job is specifically helping families prepare for that. But having seen the instances where families wholly depend on life insurance, I have an experience where I actually had to tell a family the day before we buried his son that we hadn't gotten the funding from the insurance company. And in this instance, obviously, no one thinks to pre plan for a child. We do have a few things in place to help in that instance or in that case. However, the child was out of the age range anyways. But if the family had planned for themselves, they would have had a place to lay him to rest, as opposed to relying so heavily on their life insurance and getting down to we had to actually tell them the day before services that we didn't have the funding, so we wouldn't be able to move forward without it.
And it's already such an emotional time, and a lot of decisions are being made, and just having this in place, it takes so much pressure off of your family. If you don't do it for you, do it for your family, right?
100%.
Yeah.
100%. And actually, I would say I would say it's probably about 70 to 80% of the families that we serve, they genuinely do it from firsthand experience. I lost a parent and I had to do this. I don't want my kiddos to go through it. I would say a good majority of the families that we serve do it for exactly that reason. I would say a smaller percentage are like, well, we don't really have anybody to make that happen. We don't have any children. If both of us were to go at the same time, where would we go and who would take care of us?
Right. So
So
it's not a scary process. It's a very gentle, very loving, very kind. Your wishes are written down. So talk to me about that. Talk to me about the process.
so we actually do try to begin the conversation with what's called a personal planning guide. The workbook is essentially for documenting everything that you'd like, as detailed as like I want everybody to wear this color. I want these songs to be playing. I don't want this person to attend. And beyond that, it gets more important and more serious where the final page, for example, you actually are going to be leaving words for your children or for those you're leaving behind. So it does get very sentimental. And beyond that, it helps your children. So let's say they don't necessarily know who all your friends are, or they don't have access to organizations or groups that you're in. They don't necessarily know the people to contact were they to lose you. That's a place for this personal planning guide to like where it really comes in. Outside of that, I would either visit somebody at home or I'd take them to one of my facilities and go through a presentation where I describe all of the different items that are going to be selected at the time. We basically make all of those arrangements now pay today's prices so that whenever that time comes, in 50, 100 years, it's all taken care of. And if there's any inflation, which we all know there's going to be, you've already paid for it. I actually use the phrase it's ordering out. Whenever you use DoorDash, you've paid for the food. It's already coming. It doesn't matter if the price changed by the time the driver arrives at your home. You've already paid for it.
So that's a good point. And just prices are going to go up. This is not going to get less expensive. So this is a good time to lock in the prices. It is not a scary, and it doesn't mean something's going to happen. This just means you're planning ahead.
Truly.
Yeah.
Yes, and some people do think it's taboo, which is a little unfortunate because it's an insurance for something that's going to happen. You're preparing for what is inevitable as opposed to preparing for maybes, which we have full confidence and full comfort doing a lot of times. Yeah. But it feels like it could be a scary conversation or a scary topic. But when I tell you, I've actually had families tell me multiple times, actually last week, oh, they're going to be like, why are they laughing in there? We get to know each other, and it's about celebrating your life. So at the end of the day, it becomes very, very much not scary.
Oh, I just got goosebumps when you said that, celebrating your life. That's, oh, yes. So, and Jay's a lovely, I'm going to call you young man. I've turned into my nana. I'm old, so I can call people young. A lovely man, and very kind and patient, and really hears you. He hears what you need. And so you're in good hands. So, and you do both burial and cremation, correct?
Yes, ma'am. So we'll do traditional burial as well as more, I would say it's becoming a lot more traditional these days, but cremation as well. And then we also have property for both. So there's a resting place for an urn, believe it or not. And the reason why we do that is because it's happened often where folks will have their great grandparents or their grandparents and not really have too much of a bond with them. They just know that's where they came from, and their parents had a closer bond and wanted them close by. But yes, ma'am, we take care of the traditional services as well as cremation services.
And I've seen this property and memorial. Holy moly, it is gorgeous inside and out. It is gorgeous. Every detail was thought of. And it's a warm and loving place. When you walk in, you feel good. It's not sad or depressing. It's just beautiful and full of light and full of life. So anyway.
I love that you said it like that. We refer to it as a park. We don't want people to go there and essentially feel so like locked in or frightened at all. We want them to know that their loved ones are in peace.
And it's gorgeous. It's like being at a resort. Just walking the grounds and the trees and the lake and all the water, and it's just beautiful. It's very beautiful. So I feel very comfortable there. So what is the best way to reach you? If you're comfortable sharing an email or a cell phone number, whatever you want to share, what do you feel comfortable sharing?
So my email is super easy. It's actually my first dot last name. So J like the letter, Reine like the weather, JAY.REINE@dignitymemorial.com. And my phone number, I'm a New Orleanian. I am working on it. I'm going to get a Houston number this month, but my phone number is 504-210-5904.
Okay, perfect. So spell your last name. Do your email once again really slow.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, New Orleans came out. It's JAY.REINE.
Well,
at Dignity Memorial. Sorry.
Yes. Well, thank you so much for your information, your insight. It is not a scary process. You need to do this. If you're not doing it for you, do it for your family, because you do not want these decisions to be made with the emotion running high. It's too much. It's just overwhelming.
It really is.
Yeah. So this will really protect you and your family, and your final wishes will be what you wanted, not somebody else guessing what you wanted. So, oh, I'm getting goosebumps again. All right. Well, thank you, Jay, very much. Reach out to him. He'll take very good care of you. And with that, friends, be safe and be well. And we'll see you very soon. Thanks, Jay.
Thank you so much.
All right. I'll see you soon. Thanks, friends.